The authorities don't usually, but they have, this time, mowed this field. It's usually extremely long grass. I'm going to do what I have just told Jeff Curran never to do in his video blogs. I'm going to walk and talk at the same time. I'm not going to go particularly slowly either. So, there. It's funny because before I came out, I logged onto the Sucker Punch website. SuckerPunchENT.com is your website to check out for this, but I will be posting some of the videos on Matt Hughes Forum later on my return. Anyway, Jeff Curran in his upcoming fight in WEC, he's doing a video blog, a daily video blog in fact. I believe he's he's off to train at the top team for a while. Anyway, I have of course offered my critique of his videos. They're rather exciting. But one of the things I did say was, if you're going to move beyond the move, and it's not a bad thing to get perspective rather than to be sat in the same place all the time. When you're walking, walk slowly so that you don't sort of bump the camera sort of like that. Otherwise you make your viewers feel a bit seasick, and when you're actually walking, try to talk as little as possible. When you stop to view something, that's when you talk about it. And here I am, not listening at all to my word of advice. You see, that is the railway, or used to be a railway, across there, and it goes across the river, which is sort of behind those trees there, on a big Roman viaduct, which I'm going to take pictures of. Down here, we've got a little tributary which runs along and into the main river at that corner of the field over there, down there, which is where we're going. Anyway, so I've just ignored my advice, partly because, I don't know, because there are quite a lot of people behind me who have taken the same sort of thought as me. It's a nice and bright day, why not go to Bilton Gorge? And I don't like recording in front of people. It's sort of considered a bit rude in English culture. Other people don't like to be recorded without their consent, and they look at you as if you're a bit strange. So anyway, now that's actually a route down to this little tributary. We're not going to go down it, but you can get down. Whoops! Watch me fall down. You see, there's a little track that runs along the top of the ravine. If I zoom you in, that's the little tributary at the bottom that runs into the main river, the River Nid. We're not going down there, we're going down the main one. I thought I'd take this opportunity also to talk about some other blogs that I'm following. I'm following Rich Franklin's blogs. I check back every sort of week or two, and I remember distinctly him saying in one of his blogs, I think it's richfranklin.com actually, but type his name into Google homepage, you'll find it. And a couple of weeks ago when he was training for a fight, he talked about the mechanism that deals with the body being able to sort of cope with the passage of time. And he said it was the same mechanism that the body could also use to phase out noise and distractions. I'm walking into the wind here, so I'm not quite sure whether you can hear what I'm saying. Apologies if you can't. But anyway, so he said that, when you're dead interested in something and you're focused on it, you can sometimes lose track of other things and your surroundings. I have this all the time. If I get totally engrossed in the forum or in something like that, if I'm listening to music at the same time, I just don't hear the music. Before you know it, hours have passed and I'm thinking, suddenly, I can't hear any music. What he didn't say, and something that I've sort of learned recently, is that there are lots of natural noises, lots of beautiful natural noises, that we phase out as standard. I've recently got a pet budgie, and this budgie is in tune with very different things. To me, he has incredible hearing, and he sat in my front room listening for bird calls, okay? He's listening out the window for a sound from another bird he recognises. Now, I've never thought that we had particularly that many birds around making noises, but Jens, which is the name of my pet budgie, has a knack of getting incredibly excited when he hears a bird that gives out a call similar to him, and he replies to it, which is quite interesting. And it struck me that this was quite interesting because it doesn't matter where I move his bird cage to, there are birds around making a noise which I had never heard before. He hears them, and he sort of brought them to my attention because now I'm suddenly hyper aware of other birds outside making the same noise as him, and getting him sort of all flustered. The reason for that is, of course, if I want him to speak, I have to limit his correspondence with other birds, so that he, instead of listening for a bird call, I actually train him to listen to human noise, human speech. So when he hears me speaking, he responds just like when he hears a bird cheeping, he responds to that. So it's going to be quite interesting, because I have pulled the blinds slightly over on his side, because he has a nasty tendency, if he hears a bird, to look out of the window rather than look at me and follow the bird. But I just thought I'd mention that because that's an interesting perspective. I think we miss out on some of the nicer points of life, some of the nicer distractions. That's another opening into the forest. We can go down it a little bit. I think we miss out because we are not in tune to the right things. We are often in tune to distractions, which we have to work to filter out, and we suddenly find that we are not in tune with simple things like nature, or dare I say it, God. There we are, I have said it. Again, that's your little tributary down the bottom there, and we're going to run out of time. So, but the entrance to the gorge that I want is just at the edge of that field, sort of back where we were.